Good morning, everybody. We are live here from the Birdhouse, and it is 2026 already. So it's Saturday, January 3rd, 2026. So I figured we'd talk about some of the birds that you might see in your backyard or otherwise if you are going out and getting your first birds of 2026. So, as always, we love to know what kind of things you're seeing. What was your first bird of 2026 that you had at your feeder or while you were out hiking? Love to know that. If you have questions, you can throw them in the comments or you can just say hi. First, I thought I would mention that the Buffalo Audubon Society is doing another winter birding challenge. They had one last year, they've had them in years past. And if you're looking for a little bit of motivation to kind of get out there and kind of jumpstart your birding, this goes through March. And there's different challenges. You sign up if you are a Buffalo Audubon member, it's $20. If you're not, it's $25. And there's different challenges that you sign up and you can complete. And if you each challenge has different points associated with it. If you get 200 points, you get a patch of this little nuthatch here to show that you did participate in the winter birding challenge, and you are also entered to win a pair of Vortex binoculars. So pretty fun. I just signed up this morning. I figured it's a good motivator to get out there a little bit more this winter and get birding. So that is on the you can just look up Buffalo Audubon Winter Birding Challenge. You can Google it if you want more information about that. But that's going on now, and it'll go through March, like I mentioned. So you've got some time to sign up, but no time like the present. As far as the birds you might be seeing in your backyard, if your yard is anything like mine, you might have flocks of the European starlings. European starlings are in their winter plumage right now, so they look like this. They're dark in color with all of these little white speckles all over them. When we get more into the spring, they'll start to get that yellow bill and more iridescent colors. But lots of European starlings out there. If you're trying to kind of curb the amount of European starlings, feeding things like safflower can help, or having upside down feeders, upside down Niger feeders, upside down suet feeders, that can help. But yeah, definitely lots of European starlings out there. They kind of get lumped into that blackbird category with the grackles and everything. They're actually not technically not a blackbird, they're a mynah bird, and they are here all year round, so they don't migrate or anything. So you might be getting European starlings in your yard, and you might also be getting the house sparrows in your yard. This is my number one bird in my yard, according to my haiku box. This is the bird that is picked up. Its call is picked up more than any other bird in my yard, and sounds about right. Lots of house sparrows are out there. And same kind of thing like the European starling. If you're trying to curb the amount of house sparrows you have, the safflower seed can help. It's not their favorite. So the house sparrows will still eat it, but it's not the thing that they'll go to first. So that can help kind of keep the house sparrows at bay. But then there's also other sparrows out there too. There are song sparrows. You might see song sparrows underneath your feeders cleaning up a little bit after the seed that others have thrown away. White-throated sparrows are also being reported. Sometimes they are in their really kind of bright plumage. You can absolutely see that white throat. Sometimes they're a little bit more muted and more brownish in color, like this picture on the right, but definitely have lots of white-throated sparrow activity out there. A little bit of white-crowned sparrow too, but at the moment, the bird you're most likely to see of the two would be the white-throated sparrow. And American tree sparrow, so this is one of our visitors that comes down from the north, comes down here for the wintertime, and they are visiting feeders too. You can look for them with their chestnut cap, their bicolored bill, and that little chestnut line that runs through their eye. And another type of sparrow you might get underneath your feeders especially are the dark-eyed juncos, hopping around, picking up little seeds of millet or sunflower seed that gets dropped on the ground. So they'll be here for a couple more months pretty regularly. And then, of course, the cardinals, male, female cardinals. You might get nice big flocks of cardinals because they're not territorial right now. Before we get into mating season, they tend to play well with one another during the winter time. So lots of cardinals out there, and woodpeckers. many, many hungry woodpeckers coming to suet feeders. So things like the red-bellied woodpecker, northern flicker. So a lot of people getting northern flicker at their bird feeders, which aren't a very common feeder bird in the spring and summer months, but they do tend to come to feeders in the wintertime, especially those suet feeders. So keep an eye out for the northern flicker, even the pileated woodpecker, those nice large pileated woodpeckers are coming to suet feeders. And then there's the small downy woodpecker and the hairy woodpecker are all birds that you can see right now coming to your backyard feeders, especially if you've got peanuts out there or the suet. And then at those same feeders, look for things like the white-breasted nuthatch or the more seasonally abundant red-breasted nuthatch, which is out there right now too. Some other birds that are considered clinging birds are going to be things like the black-capped chickadee. They absolutely love peanuts. So if you've got the peanut pickouts, the black-capped chickadees absolutely love that. They'll eat the sunflower seed as well. We have a blend called Chickadee Mix that has all of their favorites in it, and there's something for any kind of songbird that'll come to a bird feeder in that blend. So that's a really good one you can put in your feeders. But hungry black-capped chickadees are out there looking for sunflower seeds and peanuts. Same with the tufted titmouse. They're in the same family as the chickadees, and they tend to sometimes flock together. They tend to kind of form mixed flocks, and they absolutely love that sunflower seed and the peanut pickouts also. And keep an eye out for different finches, things like house finch, which we have all year round, both male and female. And then purple finch, which tend to be more common in the winter months. The males are more raspberry colored, and then the females have more distinct striping than the house finch. Some other finches that are out there are things like pine siskin. You can look for them at your Niger feeders. And the American goldfinch, which isn't bright gold right now, but does have that yellowish wash on it. They are here all winter long, just not that bright gold right now. And you might get things you don't quite expect underneath your feeders, things like these turkeys that were sent in by Karen. There was a flock of turkeys there in a backyard she was able to snap a picture of. So you just never know what you might come to find underneath your feeders during the winter time when food is scarce, which is a lot of fun. And even bluebirds are still around. Some people are reporting bluebirds especially coming to their heated bird baths. If you have a heated bird bath out there, keep an eye on it for things in the thrush family like these bluebirds or even American robins. So some of these birds will go south for the winter. Some of them stick around if they can find food sources. So we do have scattered reports of things like robins and bluebirds around too. And another berry-eating bird is going to be the cedar waxwings. Look for flocks of those in any kind of tree or shrub which is berry producing. Really cool bird there. And then if you see something small that's kind of climbing up the tree and blending in with the side of the tree, the trunk of the tree, you could very well have yourself a brown creeper. They are reported in the area too, and they can be hard to spot sometimes because they're small and they do blend in so well with the bark of the tree, but they are out there at the moment now too. And lots of birds of prey. If you are out hiking or out birding, you might come across some of these birds of prey. You might even get them in your backyard. This is the red-tailed hawk, our most common hawk that we have in the area. In your backyard, though, probably you're most likely to see the Cooper's hawk, which is this bird right here. They are notorious for going after birds at bird feeders, so you might just happen upon something like a Cooper's hawk hunting in your backyard. And seasonally, we do get things like rough-legged hawk, which is about the size of a red-tailed hawk, but they have different coloration. They have feathers that go all the way down their legs to their feet, which gives them their name. This is an Arctic species that comes down here south for the winter. Some scattered reports of rough-legged hawk, not a ton, but especially around the Finger Lakes area, there's been quite a few rough-legged hawk sightings. And if you're out or if you're looking for some cool birds to see locally, the short-eared owls are definitely out. There's different spots you can go to see them in places like Avon and Geneseo. There's been some pretty some pretty good places to go where you can reliably see things like short-eared owl. And during the day, before the short-eared owl comes out, you can see things like the northern harrier. This is the male northern harrier. Like the short-eared owl, they'll float kind of over the fields as they hunt. The male northern harrier is gray like this, and the female is brownish in color, but they both have that white patch on their rump. So lots of northern harrier out there as well. And if you find yourself by the water, birds of prey by the water are going to be things like the bald eagle. You might see peregrine falcon. You might see some little merlin out there. But then there's also waterfowl. Right now is a good time to start looking for some different waterfowl, things like long-tailed duck, which are gorgeous. This is another bird that comes down here south for the wintertime. You can find them Lake Ontario. You can find them at around Quoit Bay, any place that's a nice big open body of water. Look for these large rafts of long-tailed duck and other ducks too. You might find some goldeneye, you might find redhead. So now's a really wonderful time to go out to some of these unfrozen bodies of large water to look for waterfowl. And you might come across things like double-crested cormorant. They will hang around in small numbers for the wintertime. And of course, our geese, like the Canada goose, and soon we'll have more reports of snow goose. There's been some snow goose reported, especially down in the Finger Lakes area, and that will increase and continue to increase as we get on in the winter months. So Happy New Year, everybody, from everyone here at the Birdhouse. Looks like we do have some comments here. Stephanie is on and says, "Good morning. I'm getting a good variety of the usual suspects, but have noticed a recent surge of goldfinches at my finch favorite feeder. There's been a large hawk hanging out lately, which is making the rest of the birds very nervous." Yes, the birds like the goldfinches and the pine siskins, even chickadees and red-breasted nuthatch, they really love that finch favorite blend. So that's a really great blend that you can put in your finch feeders. It's a mix of Niger seed and ground up sunflower hearts. So the finches absolutely love that. So I'm glad you're getting lots of goldfinches. And yes, it doesn't surprise me that a large hawk is making them nervous. If suddenly you see all of your birds have kind of disappeared for a little bit of time, keep an eye out for a hawk. That is one of the main reasons why birds will tend to leave your feeders for a while. Also make sure that the feeder is clean, there's no mold in it, and that the seed is fresh. So Lynn is on also and says many finches this morning. So it sounds like there's lots and lots of finches out there. So looks like that's everybody's comments for today. We will be back on Tuesday with another broadcast. Yes, on Tuesday, my week is all messed up with all of the random days off with New Year's. So we will be back on Tuesday with another broadcast. And until then, if you've got photos that you've taken while you're out birding, absolutely send those in. We love to see those. And we'll be back with another update on Tuesday. So until then, have a great weekend, and we will talk